James, Small Business Show. Welcome to the Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James, Small Business Show. The Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James Small Business Show.
We're here, Arlington, Texas, Globe Life Park, Dr. James McConnell, the Small Business Network. Hello, everyone. My co-host, Brittany Wise, Carol Harper Pope.
Hello.
How you guys doing on this fine day?
Awesome.
Fabulous.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be here, man. We're here, and man, this is wonderful. I'm excited. God bless everyone for us to be able to wake up and drive here safely and get on the road, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Man, well, you already know my first topic of today, astronomy.
Here we go.
Here
Here
we
we
go.
go. Here we go.
And
Go.
we want to talk about early Earth. We want to talk about the forming of the early Earth. So obviously, the early Earth, there was a big bang, and of course everything was formed. 99% of that was the sun. The other 1% was all the planets. The early Earth, the atmosphere was made up of carbon dioxide. There was no oxygen. And so that part of Earth we could not live on, right?
Right.
But all the bombardments of asteroids and comets and slamming into the planet, adding more structure to the planet, bigger and bigger. There was a time of about 1 billion years later from the forming of the Earth to where it got into a cataclysmic catastrophe type of collision with a planetoid, a very small planet. And that planet did something amazing for Earth. And of course, this is all God, right? This is just an explanation of what he did to make this work. The collision caused the Earth to be about 95% of its size right now. And through the collisions from the comets that helped bring water on this planet, it turned the carbon dioxide into oxygen.
Oh, wow.
So things could actually breathe. Humans could breathe. You know, that's the thing that happened for us to be able to breathe on this planet. Isn't that awesome?
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
So before I just keep babbling on, Miss Carol, I just want to know if you know anything about Earth at any point.
Oh, well, I did a little research, okay? And you had already hit on this, but I'm going to hit on it again.
Okay.
It says about 3.77 billion ago, not long after the ocean formed, about 4.41 billion years ago, is dealing with the Earth.
Okay.
And you had already spoke about that in your previous sessions.
Right. Okay. How about you, Miss Brittany? Any knowledge or anything that you want to throw in? What do you know about Earth?
Look, he do this every week, don't he?
Anything about Earth?
I got something new.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Earth is the third planet from the sun. Done.
Absolutely. All right. I love that. Absolutely. How sweet it is.
How
sweet it is.
All right.
I love that. So early Earth. So obviously having the oxygen, and then we went through about another 1 billion years of everything forming from the mammals to the ocean dwellers to how humans became. That's another topic.
Exactly.
But the Earth kept growing, and it's to this point now.
Nice.
And obviously, there is a future to the earth and what is going to happen to the earth. So we have about 4.5 billion more years, which is a very long time, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the earth will go through an incredible change during that time. So in 4.5 billion more years, what's going to happen is our atmosphere is going to become a little more weak because of the sun relentlessly going against our atmosphere, right?
Okay.
And so obviously the core of the earth gives us the magnetic atmosphere that blocks most of that sun, most of the violent stuff that comes off the sun, that shields us from all that.
Okay.
And God made that obviously so we could, have life here.
Absolutely.
Great.
But the earth will go through a change and one day will not be here, not be inhabitable for us 4.5 million years. Unless the Lord wants us to be here, then he'll make something else happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But otherwise, what physics and science says is the sun will sooner or later run out of fuel. And when that happens, the sun will become a red giant. And when that happens, it'll get too hot here on the earth.
Okay.
All right.
And it'll stay that size for about 100 million years.
Okay.
So I don't, I'm sure us as humans try to be smart, and maybe we'll build some underground cities,
Something.
and maybe we can go through, maybe we can live, at 900 degrees but we can never go outside or something.
Exactly.
Who knows what we can do, right?
Right.
But in the meantime, we will go through that. If the red giant sun may swallow us, it may not. I do know that the earth will try to go in a different orbit when the sun gets bigger. It will try to move away.
Okay.
How far? I don't know if it can do it in time to not get that hot.
Okay.
So that's another exciting topic. But from that part, we'll get into early Earth part 2, where we'll talk about what happens after that. Let's say if we were still on the Earth, what happens after the red giant. So that'll be next week.
Okay.
Isn't that great?
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
I look forward to this every week to hear you talk about
Miss
it.
Carol, I guess we better do some research so we
I've
can
been
have
very
Gotta do some research next time.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
I thought
Wrong
I
with you
did just a
guys.
little bit. So, we're going to be shifting topics.
Okay.
All right, we're going to be talking about managing people. And I'm going to ask Dr. James this question. What is the best way to manage people?
Okay, well, I'm going to give my answer. Then I would like to know you guys' opinion. So I think everyone has a different way of kind of being managed. If you have a company and a business and you have to hire people and you have to get things done, then obviously there's a bottom line to getting things done. Obviously, if you have to have something written up for a speech, well, it just has to be done by a certain time.
Right.
But on the other hand, you have to sometimes take into account someone's personality,
Absolutely.
how they respond to
Different questions.
somebody telling them certain things.
Absolutely.
Some people can be outgoing and easy to talk to, and you can kind of just be direct with those type of people.
Absolutely.
Some people can be emotional,
Yes.
and those emotional people, you have to sometimes be careful with how you talk, because they'll think that you're talking loud or you're
Or
screaming
against
at them,
them,
or
yes.
or you like you're trying to sometimes there's just a thought there that can make a person feel that way, and you have to sometimes think about it. Once you hear it and understand that it rubbed them wrong, you may have to say, okay, come at them at a different angle.
Absolutely.
Because you want to, everybody's different. Everybody has a way of doing things, and you just have to sometimes understand some people are okay to talk to a certain way, and some people you have to be, treat with kid gloves.
Right.
So that is my opinion on managing people. How about you, Miss Brittany?
Well, it's kind of like the what's the saying? An iron fist in a velvet glove, kind of saying.
Okay.
I look at it as seek first to understand, then to be understood. So if we all are on the same page, where the head goes, the body goes.
Exactly.
So once you know this is the direction we're headed in, then we can be a little more inclusive with managing people and their expertise and expectations of the leaders.
Right.
So sometimes people will expect you as a leader to do this, that, and the third, but then you have to break it down and be more transparent and be more open to moving forward and bringing the collective into it. So that's how I would say managing, the best way to manage people.
I love it. How about you, Miss Carol?
Well, the best way to manage people is you have to, we as people has to dedicate wisely, because it has to be divided into the team. And you have to set goals and you have to communicate wisely, because sometimes, I think you hit this, Dr. James, sometimes the way, just out of the blue, just an example, Brittany, the way I come to you, Dr. James may not come to you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? We got to know each other, I call it makeup, character.
Right.
You got to know, hey, if something, is going on, and say, for instance, I'm using myself, if I act in a certain tone or something like that, maybe you say, oh, you need to know me as a team player, that, oh, something's going on that day. Maybe we should do this, and that. But also, you have to generate ideas, different ideas around the table. And we do that a lot, and I love that part. We delegate things, and we talk about, and we share each other's ideas. And it's compromise. You have to compromise. I talk about this at work. You have to compromise with the team. Because everybody that one person don't know everything.
Exactly.
Because what you know, I may not know, and what I know, you may not know. That's what I get.
That's awesome.
All right, and another question on the table. How do we manage, this is to Dr. James, and I guess we're all going to answer, how do we manage the big picture?
Well, now, the big picture, that's a different thing.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes to be able to see the big picture is a talent and a skill.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not just about that. It's sometimes just how your brain works.
Okay.
So, it's okay if your brain don't see it that way. Sometimes people can hear certain things as negative, so they automatically want to act like they can do it.
Okay.
Right? Like, I can go cut grass, but I don't want to, so I'll pay people to use that time for something else.
Yes, sir.
So can I go cut grass? Yes, I can.
Right.
But so do you do it in a professional manner? Well, I'm okay to say no. I go cut the grass, but I probably don't do it in a professional manner.
Yes.
Right.
But see, sometimes people hear that and say, yes, yeah, I do mine professionally. The point, because they feel like it's negative to say they can't. So the big picture is something that sometimes take a certain skill or talent to be able to see, but more importantly, sometimes a mindset, sometimes a certain vision to be able to see it.
Exactly. Yep.
So the big picture can be the way I see us 5 years from now, the way I see what's going on, what we've talked about, things that I can see very clearly that sometimes people don't see very clearly.
Exactly.
Because most people, this is the truth. 90% of people see right what's in front of them that day, maybe the next day, maybe next week.
Okay.
But most people can't see ahead.
Exactly.
And see what the actions that turns into good.
Right.
Exactly.
And so, how do we manage that? You can accrue that kind of thinking.
Yep.
All you have to do is sometimes really envision a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. I don't really go past 2 years.
Okay.
5 years. I said 5, but most of the time I like to do things immediately, and I like to do it now.
Okay.
Because typically, if you have your own business, you have to get it done now.
Okay.
Or it's going to procrastinate and you're not going to do it.
Absolutely.
But I can vision the later, and I can organize stuff. And if you can start organizing your thoughts of what can happen in a week, a month, 6 months, and then a year, maybe even 2 years.
Exactly.
5 years seems so far, but so 5 years a lot of times feel like, oh, I got a lot of time.
Yeah.
I can just do this starting next month. No.
No,
See,
you don't.
I'm saying 2 years only to visualize it. That way your brain can start organizing how to get it there.
Exactly.
So, Ms. Brittany, how would you manage the big picture?
Well, you kind of stole my answer
I'm
a little
telling
bit.
you.
I mean, that summed up everything. Gee.
Come on, baby, you got
Sorry
it.
about
you got
that.
This, you got it.
Look, how do you manage the big picture?
Got this.
As a visionary, I tend to start with the big picture. And then, I'm very analytical. So everything is a step 1, step 2, step
Right,
3.
right.
So it's like, okay, what do I need to do to get there on that road? Like if you put in your GPS, hey, I want to go, to AT&T Stadium, it's going to give you directions.
Right.
Go straight, turn right, turn left. Well, if you go straight and you miss the turn right,
You got it.
now it's going to redirect you.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's how you manage the big picture. Where do I want to get to? What's my vision? What's my end goal? And for me, I just make it into steps. Okay, now I got to finish that. Don't put off, like you said, don't put off for tomorrow what I can do today.
All right,
Right.
exactly.
Let me get this done. I got that done. Okay,
Right.
now what's next? As long as I keep asking what's next,
Right.
what do I do next?
Right.
Then eventually you keep tilling at it and you're
Right.
at the big picture. But it starts small, good habits. It starts with making habits and creating habits, because bad habits are hard to uproot the
Exactly.
older they are, okay? And the same thing with good habits. So you want to practice good habits of creating that environment where you think, like you said, you can create those thoughts of the visionary. Where do I see myself in 2 years? Okay, this is what I want to do. Now I'm going to head in that direction. And try not to get off course, because,
Right.
sometimes you start chasing the carrot and start bouncing
Exactly.
around. And that's where the enemy tries to trip you up with bringing
Exactly.
something to distract you. And it's like, oh, that's a nice shiny object over there. Let me
Okay.
see what that's like.
Yeah, but Brittany, what if it's a sauteed carrot? I like carrots, Brittany. Sauteed carrots, I like. Miss
But we
Carol,
got to manage the big picture,
That's
Dr.
right.
James.
Miss Carol, what's your answer on that? How do you manage the big picture?
Well, everything y'all said, y'all stole my thought, but I'm going to take it this way. What I'm walking in now, I saw it many, many, many years ago.
Right.
Okay, it was there. It was a thought, it was an image, and God gave it to you. Whatever.
Right.
So managing the big picture is you continue to strive, you continue to walk to it. You're gonna go through some ups and downs, but like everybody said, the distractions. Distractions gonna come to deter you, but you got to keep the focus. You got to keep the vision in mind. You got to keep the big picture.
Right.
And big picture can be a lot of things that's in there, because my person myself, I did a vision board, and all those things that was on my vision board, I done did it. So I had to come up with another vision board, and I had a list. I knocked those off. I said, oh my God, I knocked it off. So it's the same thing you said, Miss Brittany, but I'm just speaking of myself. So, and I had to come up with new ideas and new ways to do things,
Right.
and that's when Dr. James showed up to give me new ideas and to show me new things to implement into the big picture.
Right.
Isn't that right?
Right.
And I'm so glad really that you said that, because I think as teammates, as we are, I think it's very important to help each other.
Absolutely.
Right? And so it doesn't matter where you get the answer from.
Exactly.
See, this is another thing. It doesn't matter where you get the answer from.
Right.
Long as you got the answer.
Exactly.
So don't feel like, well, if I ain't come up with the answer, then it doesn't
It's
matter.
matter,
You know
right.
how many ideas I get from people?
Yeah, I
And I'm
know.
like, the only difference is most people come up with an idea and don't execute it.
Exactly.
And don't have the capability to execute it.
Right.
I hear the same idea and I know how to execute it most of the time.
Exactly.
That's the difference. So if I hear idea, oh man, even though I didn't come up with, look at Zuckerberg.
Okay.
He didn't come up with Facebook idea.
Right.
Okay.
But he's the one that's made
Making
billions
the
of
money.
dollars on it. Huh?
Right.
Oh man.
Lord.
Listen, our next category that we're going to talk about, we're going to move into innovation.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about that next.
Okay.
Hello, how are you? I am Dr. James McConnell, founder and CEO of MBC Global Enterprises. From today all the way through Halloween, October 31st, we are writing articles about people and their businesses. This article does not cost you a thing. We want to be able to help businesses grow and prosper. These articles will go on our social media pages, our business pages, and so forth to help you get more exposure and business for your business. So we're definitely looking forward to it. You'll also have an opportunity to do other things to grow your business, as far as get more customers, more leads, more profits, more exposure. You'll have ample opportunity to do other things. But the article about you and your business does not cost you anything. It is on us. So give us a call at 469-765-5327 and either text "I want it" or just ask about the opportunity. Again, the phone number is 469-765-5327 and either text "I want it" or call about the opportunity. Operators will be waiting. Have a great day. Hello everyone, I am Dr. James, host of Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network, broadcasting live each week on Saturday at 1 p.m. from Fishbowl Radio Network Studios at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. Log on to hear us talk about and feature small businesses and the life of a small business, the struggles, the triumphs, the daily operation, the grind of starting and running a small business. So be sure to log on each week on Saturday at 1 p.m. to catch Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network. Let's jump in.
All right. We're back. Globe Life Park, Arlington, Texas. Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network. We are back. Miss Brittany, we're on innovation.
Yes, sir. So I got a quote for you. You will be successful through innovation and determination.
And who said that?
Panda Express.
I love it.
Express.
Yeah.
Come
I
on,
love
girl.
it.
I love it.
I love
Dr.
it.
James, what's your way of innovating?
Okay, so my way of innovation and innovating is coming up with new ideas to have it executed, right? Innovation, things like me building NBC's list. That's an innovation, something that the world hasn't had before. A platform that does some of what a lot of things does, but combined, and then does a couple of things that no other place does. Okay. So that's one of the things that I feel like is innovation, but also a way to think sometimes, how you organize your thoughts. Kind of what I just heard you say on the break, where you said you set up a task list of what you want to do every day. That could be a form of innovation, because maybe you didn't used to do that. Maybe you blindly just woke up and started doing stuff, and before you know it, like most people, you don't have time to finish tasks because you didn't put them down to kind of complete tasks.
Right.
You know, and kind of like me, I'm sure that you're like me, where you have so many tasks to where you don't really finish all those tasks, but you do finish a certain amount of tasks. And if you don't write that stuff down, then you won't finish any tasks.
Exactly.
So tell me, what do you think about it, Ms. Brittany?
Well, my way of innovating is really, I try not to reinvent the wheel, but make the wheel better.
Right.
Sometimes people get caught up in trying to start something new or brand new or different. And sometimes you don't have to be the newest new thing that you're doing.
Right.
It can just be a better way to do it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And you can make millions on a better way to do
Absolutely.
it. So typically that's how I innovate. I think of, okay, what is it that I'm trying to do and how can I make it better?
Okay.
Awesome.
All
How
right.
about you, Ms. Carol?
All right. For me, for innovation is, Dr. James took my thoughts. New ideas and new thoughts. So I think me and Brittany was brainstorming, I think last week, and I said, and I also said it to myself, I got to come up with something new. I got to come up with something else. How to make more money. And the ideas came. So what I have now, but we'll talk about it next, I have a lot of different things that I'm implementing to, if one is not, I think about Dr. James. Dr. James got so many lists that he does. But if one is not working, the other one may be working at that time, and when that one's not working, meaning his jobs that he got and his talents that he's using, and when that's not working, he's making money over here. And when that's not working, it's making money over there. So it's coming up with new ideas to continue to make your business boom and not go down.
I love it.
So, Dr. James, what's the best way to come up with innovation ideas?
Okay, now this one is going to be somewhat of a scientific answer that y'all are going to love, actually.
Scientific.
Scientists.
But I promise you, either you're going to do it or you've done it and didn't know that you were doing it.
Okay.
So when you go to bed at night, okay, and when you're tired, not when you're just laying down, but maybe it's okay, but if you're feeling tired and you're laying down and before you think you're going to go to sleep, start thinking about stuff, right? And from what I heard is the best ideas come from REM sleep. And so if you start thinking about it, when you first lay down, I mean, of course, if you can't help yourself, you start thinking right off the bat. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll lay down and I just start thinking about stuff, and I just can't help myself. I really don't want to always tune in on stuff, but I just can't help myself. And so I start thinking about stuff, but when I'm laying there, I tend to come up with, I say 80% of what I come up with, it's then. I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, and I never like jump up and start writing it down. I'm just thinking about it, I'm like, and when I'm laying, I'm like, I'm going to do that. Okay, so I close my eyes again, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, you know, and so then I'll go to sleep, and I don't ever dream about anything like that. But when I wake up, it pops back in my head, and it seems to be very clear what I got to do to make it work. So to me, that's one of the best ways to come up with innovation ideas.
Okay. All right.
And you, Miss Brittany?
So I'm kind of like that. My thinking's always thinking. It's hard to turn my brain off once I start going and the wheels start turning. Sometimes I have to like just find a way to just shut it down and, you know, tune into a movie or dance or something just to clear my head, because I'll keep going.
Right.
And I guess for people who struggle with coming up with ideas, the best way to come up with innovative ideas is to pay attention to your surroundings. I think I was at a stoplight one day, and I work in physical therapy, so I was at a stoplight, and there was a gentleman with his walker crossing the street. Well, of course, you know, the light changed, but, I mean, I waited, of course. But my thought was, you know, the moving sidewalks that they have in the airports?
Right.
Well, why can't we put those at the crosswalks for people, for the handicapped to walk across the street faster?
Right.
And that was just an idea that came to me that I never really acted on, because it was like, okay, maybe somebody else would do it. But that's how you come up with ideas.
Right.
You're sitting in a parking lot, or you're at the bank, and you kind of go, why don't they fill in the blank? Right. That's your idea. And when you really tune in with yourself and you get off of your phone and really start paying attention to your surroundings, those ideas come like fluid. They come like water. They're very fluid. And I heard one millionaire say years ago, you should have at least 30 ideas a day that you're writing down.
I love that. I love it.
Ms. Kara?
Okay, what ways of I would innovate is, when you guys were talking, my mind went back to a 93-year-old woman that gave me some ideas on her deathbed. And it was a recipe, and it's not anything that I have in my recipe book. Let's just make that clear. But she was giving me some ideas, and she was giving me some pointers on what to do and not to do. Enjoy this, enjoy that. Don't sweat the small stuff. This and that and that. And she pumped a lot of things inside of me. Not only her, but a lot of people of my surroundings have put a lot of ideas, and even your spiritual papa, as we call it, or a spiritual father or mother, they put ideas in us. And also, Dr. James, I heard him say that he don't write it down. When I get ideas and I'm sleeping, or I have to write it down.
Yeah, I
because
gotta write it
I'll
down
lose
too.
it.
Right.
I'll lose
Everybody's
it.
different.
I lose it, and I dream about it. And if I don't write it down when I first wake up, I will lose it. So, like we've all been saying, I've been hearing it around the table. You can get ideas from people that don't really usually put it in play.
Right.
You can just have a common conversation with people, Dr. James. You can have a common conversation with people, and you get ideas and say, "Why didn't I think of that?" Or they'll say, "Well, I did this and this and this and that." It may not have worked for them,
Right.
but when you implement it, it works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that awesome?
I love
Yeah.
it. How sweet it is.
That's amazing. So, Ms. Carol, since we're talking about innovation, I know you've been working on quite a few things with your books and writing.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about your newsletter that you have coming out?
Well, the newsletter is already out. It was out for last month and the month before, but I have implemented a newsletter. I have a very powerful young lady that does my newsletters for me, and I'm always on her about it, and she does an excellent job, which I won't disclose her name. So this newsletter
Wait, Miss Carol, why won't you disclose her name? I mean,
because
does
I
she
have
have something over you? She told you that she gonna tell something bad
no,
about
because
you?
I
I'm
haven't
just kidding, Miss Carol.
Dr. James,
got her
don't start
permission.
instigating.
See, he does that. To the viewers out there, that's what Dr. James do.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is a jokester. He is a comedian.
She said, "You better not do it. I'm gonna tell everybody." I'm just kidding.
No, she is a very private person.
She's
She-
a ghost writer.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
she-
a ghost writer.
I'm
That's
not
the
gonna
title.
interrupt you no more, Miss
And
Carol. I
she-
had to do it.
And I'm going to share this show with her, too. So.
Okay. All right,
But
go ahead.
anyway, this is the newsletter, if everybody could see it. It's Carol's publishing company newsletter, and it's volume 1, issue 2. This is the second issue. And you can find this on issuu.com. issuu.com. This is my first, volume 1, issue 2. And what you can see inside, I think I'm moving along. Yeah, I can just go on and move on.
Okay.
What you see inside is, you're going to be surprised what you see in here. You're going to see the new release. You're going to see the new release. This, with the audio book that I've been pushing, and I know y'all tired, but it's going to be all right after a while. And I also have, look at what I have in here.
Oh,
Dr.
man, I love
James.
Look
it.
at what I have
it.
in here.
That's nice.
Dr. James.
That's marketing.
Yes, the Small Business Network.
That's marketing right there. That's
Yeah.
an expert.
Yes, absolutely. And it has all of my, here's something else.
I love it.
And I have all the information on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and my podcast, picture of the podcast, CDH Podcast, Tell It Like It Is, Be Real. Also, I was on a guest with Man at 50 and Troy Leaguit on their podcast. I was a guest on that.
Hey, Miss Carol, could you say that name again?
Which one?
The name start with an L.
I'm going
Say
to
his
spell
name.
it. Legettete, speaks.
But could you say it?
Leggett.
Okay. I was just trying to see what the name was.
He likes to make fun of my language viewers, if y'all don't know. And he's probably going to say viewers.
Because you country.
And also, I'm just going to go through the discussion and you won't have to ask me
You're
anything
good.
else.
You're good.
Also, inside of this catalog, in this newsletter, my book, The Life of a Damaged Person, had the opportunity to be on Author Solution Word on the Street catalog in 2018. The Life of a Damaged Person. It was on Showcase in Toronto, Canada
I love it.
in 2018. I haven't shared it, but I'm sharing it now. And that's the book right there, The Life of a Damaged Person. You can see it all on my website, caroldhopper.com. Also, in this newsletter, you need to get your hands on it. It's have a lot of information on it. The 3 books that my company published for 3 different people.
Nice.
So it's in there. Also, all of my contact, Twitter, Instagram, I'm gonna say this first, so Dr. Specify.
Spotify.
I know what it is. I'm messing with Dr. James. Because he said, Miss Carol, could you say it again? Spotify, because on my commercial I said Specify. So you can get this you can see all of my information at caroldharper.com, Anchor, Anchor.com, and Spotify, and Carol's Publishing Company. And also, I don't think you guys are aware that I do have some merchandise on Etsy shop.
Okay.
And if they want to call you, Miss Carol, what number should they call to get any of these items? Could you tell them?
Yes, the numbers are 469-643-6498 or 469-778-8682.
Awesome. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into some of Miss Carol's seasonal wreaths, and we will talk about that next.
Oh, I thought I was done.
No, you're just talking about the newsletter.
Oh.
Excuse me.
I forgot to show that.
On that beat. Oh.
I was good on my
Hello, everyone. Thank you for staying tuned to the Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network. We're definitely looking forward to helping all you business owners out there, all you entrepreneurs, get to another level. We help people get more customers, more leads, more profits, all that good stuff. We built a platform called MBC's List. You've heard of Angie's List. You've heard of Craigslist. Well, this is a 4-tier platform that has never been done before on the planet. Not only is it an online business directory, it is a classified to post your business and to post everything about your business And you can also sell items. You can put your services in the classified, and it will show up on the home page without anyone going to your website. They click on it, it'll go to your website. You'll be able to post your picture or your logo, your website, your phone number, so on and so forth. But this platform is also a networking platform. It is also a leveraged residual income platform to make more money. Awesome, right? I know you guys love that part of it. But it gives you other opportunities. I'm sure that you guys, you business owners, entrepreneurs, go get flyers and business cards and all that good stuff. Well, just by becoming a member of NBC's list, you will get 60% off a print from now on. Let me be clear about it. We have a nationwide account with Office Depot, and through me, NBC Global Enterprises, you will get 60% off of your business cards and prints from the time you join and the time. We are absolutely excited to help you guys get aboard. We have so many benefits that I haven't even brought up yet. So many benefits of being a member of NBC's list. We cannot wait to talk to you about this. Anyone ready? You can either email us at info@servicesatmbc.com. That's info@services@ spelled out atmbc.com, and let us know that you're interested. Or you can call us at 469-765-5327. Again, that's 469-765-5327. Operators will be waiting.
I like that.
All right. We're back. Arlington, Texas, Globe Life Park. Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network. We're here talking about now seasonal wreaths by Miss Carol Publishing Company. Talk to us about those wreaths, Miss Carol.
All right. This is something new, an idea that came to me. My sister put it in my head, and she asked me, could I make it? I said, I can do anything. Just let me do some research on it, and that is what I did. So, the season is coming up with Thanksgiving and all those that celebrate Halloween. I don't discriminate, but I can make the money.
Right.
Halloween coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and even New Year. So these are just some seasonal wreaths that I handmade myself.
Nice.
That the wisdom that God gave me. And I'm just going to share some. I'm going to let you look at them on the camera. And these are handmade by me. And these are a special. I have a special going on. You can get like 5-10% off. You can get that off. And also I have these two are together. That's the
Nice.
wreaths. Absolutely.
Yes.
These two are together. So if anyone wants to buy, you can hit me on. You already know what I am. Carol's Publishing Company on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Carol Harper, Carol Poe, Books for Life, and all those information. So if anyone that texts me at 469-648-6498, the word wreath, WREATH, you will get 10% off. And the offer is up until, I would say, October. Anybody that texts me, the first 10 people that text me the word WEATH will get 10% off. So my social media, again, is Carol's Publishing Company. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and now watch Dr. James, Pinterest. 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 I am on there now. You can look me up on there. And also, I already gave you all the other information, and I'm on Amazon.com. Now, if anybody else want to say anything, I'm going to pass the buck on. And
You ain't got to be perfect to make money. You just got to do it.
Absolutely. So, the next, we're going to switch topics here a little bit. We're going to talk about stuck in a rock in a hard place. Oh, my God, I am ready to hear all of this about stuck. Can you imagine that? Stuck in a rock in a hard place. So, Miss Brittany, how to brainstorm when your direction is unclear?
Well, Miss Carol, to be honest with you, that's why I started my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Wisdom Talk with the Phoenix. So it was really many different people that would come ask me, well, how do I do this? How do I start a business? How do I grow my business? How do I get customers? And people tend to be stuck in what direction they want to go in.
Okay.
I tend to tell people, humans are stupid. God gave us a brain.
Exactly.
But sometimes we don't use it.
Exactly.
And if we didn't have a brain, we could choose to be a squirrel, a shark, a tiger, a giraffe, a monkey. But God was so gracious to give us a brain.
Thank you, Jesus.
And too many of us don't use it.
Exactly.
So one of the things that I tell people as far as how to brainstorm when your direction is unclear.
Mm-hmm.
First, you determine what you want.
Okay.
Then you determine who you know.
Okay.
And then you determine your gifts. Through that, determining what you want, that's half the battle right there.
Okay.
Because too many people want this and that and over there, and they're trying to be in 25 different directions at once.
Exactly.
So when you determine, okay, this is the direction that I want to go in, this is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Now you at least have a bit of a destination to go into. Then you determine who you know.
Okay.
And we talked about relationship currency and, having those great relationships, the people around you, make a big difference in the direction that you want to go in.
Absolutely.
Like Miss Carol, you shared that you had your business and you're where you wanted to be 5 or 6 years ago or when you had the vision. But then you came in contact with Dr. James and he helped you, guide you where you're trying to get to now.
Absolutely.
So sometimes who we know is just as important as where we want to go.
Absolutely.
Because then God will bring people in your life that'll help you get to that direction. But first, like he told Joshua, you got to take the first step.
Absolutely.
Before the Jordan River will stop, right?
Absolutely.
So determine what you want, determine who you know, and determine your gifts. Miss Carol, you got a lot of gifts. You got a lot of talents.
Amen.
You remind me of my daughter. My daughter's real creative. She can make jewelry and draw and do hair. And I said, you teach a man to use his hands, he'll never be broke.
Absolutely.
I know people that can work on cars over here, and then they can do computers over there. And it's like, hey, when I was in college, I could type really fast.
Okay.
So people would pay me to type their papers.
Absolutely.
That's
They
awesome.
write the paper, I type it.
Absolutely.
And I get, I just pay me for my time.
That's it.
You teach a man to use his hands, he'll never be broke.
I
Absolutely.
love it.
Absolutely.
What about you, Dr. James? How you brainstorm when your direction is unclear?
Well, what do I do when it's unclear is I try my best to make it clear by focusing on the next goal, the next task that will help me make it clear. And that's pretty much what I do. I mean, that topic, you went through it kind of thoroughly, and I agree 100% with everything really that you said. So I think I second that motion.
Okay. Miss Carol?
And I third that emotion
You do a ditto?
with some more added to it. How to brainstorm your direction when it's unclear. When everything is unclear to me, I try to stay positive.
Mm-hmm.
In the situation that I'm in, and I try to write down the ideas, and I think on the ideas. And also, you have to make some downtime in order to brainstorm. You can't always be so busy. It's good to be busy, but you need some downtime to take time to think, and also keep the goal, what we all been talking about,
Right.
in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, awesome.
All right. And Miss Brittany, jumping back onto the subject is, how do you keep a positive mindset when life is not going well?
Mm-hmm. Well, so I got a long story to tell
Okay.
as far as my life being up and down, around the corner, peaks and valleys, and good and bad and ugly.
Okay.
And I can honestly say everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
I always think about Romans 8:28, the
There you go.
scripture. Everything happens for the good of those who are called according to his purpose.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I try to keep that in mind and try to keep a positive mindset, even when it's not looking clear, it's not looking good. I believe every lesson is a blessing. So if I can find a lesson in it, find what I'm supposed to be learning, then I can move forward in knowing that his plan is to give me a hope in the future.
Absolutely.
And I stand on that this is for my good. This is to strengthen me, because like a sword in battle, the sword has to be beat and taken through the fire and chiseled and sharpened. And
Absolutely.
it has to be ready for battle. You can't go to Dollar Tree and get the little toy sword and take it into battle, because it's not prepared and equipped for battle. So that's how I look at hardship. That's how I look at when things are not going well. Everybody has problems, but few people have a solution for the problem.
Absolutely.
So when you can think in terms of, okay, what is the solution to my problem? What is it that I'm faced with right now?
Absolutely.
And understand that there's no such thing as a mistake.
Absolutely.
Wherever you're going, whatever direction you're headed in, God has a plan for you. It's not going to be a straight path. It never is. Like, I know Dr. James will probably give you plenty of stories in entrepreneurship. It is never a straight path.
Absolutely.
But
how sweet it is.
how your influence makes a big difference too. The people that you have around you and speaking positively in your life instead of saying, man, that ain't gonna work. And man, you know what you doing and why you doing it. If you have people around you who have a positive mindset, that makes everything a whole lot easier moving forward.
How sweet it is.
Yeah.
I love it. We are at the end of this show, guys, and we are so glad that everyone stay tuned, whether it's through the audio, through fishbowlradionetwork.us, or through Facebook Live, and through other devices. We're so happy to have you here. For the listeners and viewers, we have something for you like always. Anyone, whether it's a business or a person that wants a free article done that has a chance of going in newspapers, global magazines, and showed on social media for free, does not cost you anything. You text I want it to 469-765-5327. Again, text I want it to 469-765-5327. Thank you, and we're so glad you came. You guys have a blessed Saturday. Goodbye,
Bye.
everybody.
Peace.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. James, host of Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network, broadcasting live each week on Saturday at 1 p.m. from Fishbowl Radio Network Studios at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. Log on to hear us talk about and feature small businesses and the life of a small business, the struggles, the triumphs, the daily operation, the grind of starting and running a small business. So be sure to log on each week on Saturday at 1 p.m. to catch Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network. Let's jump in.
Welcome to the Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James Small Business Show. Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James Small Business Show. The Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James.